Are you ready to know what's going on with Play Comics? Because that's what we're going to do. First off, personal note for me, this really has no business coming out this late. It is the 25th as I'm recording this. It's probably the 26th or 27th when it's getting out to Patreons. And honestly, there's no excuse for that. I started doing this. I stopped. I don't know. I just got caught up in things. Normally, these are going to come out more toward the beginning of the month. And we're going to get some more into that kind of thing later. But the main thing I want you to know is I hate for myself for it being like the 25th and I'm finally getting this thing put out now. I need to do better. All right. Here's what's been going on lately. Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, we had my friend Connor from my local comic store. I've been wanting to get him on the show for a while, and for whatever reason, we just hadn't been able to get everything lined up, hadn't been able to nail down a game that he would come on for, anything like that. And then he threw out the idea of Pokemon, which, and honestly, I thought was funny, and I think he might have been a little bit offended when I kind of started laughing about it, because I have asked some specific people to come on the show. Hey, you come talk about Pokemon. You do things related to Pokemon. It never happened. I've had multiple people from the listener side say, hey, are you going to do a Pokemon episode? Pokemon's kind of there. I've cheated and done some things before that don't really count. Looking at you, Transformers and G.I. Joe, which are kind of weird side cases, that Pokemon is basically the same thing. Nothing ever happened. But Connor not only asked about doing Pokemon, he also nailed down a timer to record it. He actually recorded it with me, and it was good. So, maybe we'll get him on again for something. We will see. Next, we had Stick Braxton from Together We Anime, Two Tall Boys, and Clueless Vino. I pulled him from hearing him on Gimmicks a few times, and I've probably heard him on some other things too, but Gimmicks is the one that has really stuck in my brain as, hey, here's somebody that I can get on to grab an anime thing. And I know I'm going to say anime, but it's a word I'm more familiar with than manga. So I'm going to say anime. And most of the time, that's how we're familiar with the properties over here. So anyway, with Stick, it was my normal pitch to people I don't know that I'm just kind of randomly pitching things to. Like, hey, I really like what you're doing. This is where I heard you, saw you, know you from, whatever. This is what I'm doing. If anything on this list catches your eye, then let me know and we can get something to work. And I was fairly certain he would pick something anime related. I was less certain, but still a little, wouldn't have surprised me if he had picked something that was like, hey, here's something that I don't really know a lot about, but it's an excuse to hear about it. So we'll do that. And then he got super excited about Amazing Saga Mutant Fighter. And you're going to have to listen to that episode because it's really fun, but also he just got really excited about Amazing Saga Mutant Fighter. And I don't know anybody else who has even heard of that from the anime manga side of things. I know a few people who know about it from the game side. They had no idea it was based on anything. And then when I told them, they were like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. That thing's weird as shit. So there we go. The opposite side of the super easy pitches, Chris Farrell from All Things Good and Nerdy and the official Good at Geek show was basically the easiest pitch ever. It was, hey Chris, you want to come talk about Spider-Man? And his response was basically, dude, you see my profile on Discord and my picture? Like, yeah, I want to come talk about Spider-Man. And this one was just so super easy, because he's a huge Spider-Man fan. The first Spider-Man game the Spider-Man game for the first Sam Raimi movie with Tobey Maguire. People love that game. A lot more people are going to say that the second one is their favorite. But the first one is really good, and a lot of people really like it too. And, what more could you want? I had my friend Anthony Sitko from Capes on the Couch coming on to talk about the Fantastic Four from 2005. Yes, it was the tie into the Fox movie. Yes, that movie is horrible, but also the best Fantastic Four movie that we got before the most recent one. Absolutely no question. Yes, Anthony and I both had to suffer through watching the movie multiple times so that we could try to figure out how this game connected to the movie at all. I don't know. I got nothing there. Anthony was fun. Anthony is always fun. The game is fun. The game might maybe have some Fantastic Four connections, kind of, maybe. Yeah, just go listen to that one. Anyway, July was only a 4-episode month because that's just how the calendar worked. So let's take some behind the scene things. Let's dive a little bit more into why this is coming out so late in August. And again, I hate the fact that I have had the Patreon set up for years and I have basically done nothing with it. It is basically just a big cycle of I don't like putting things behind a content wall. I'm making these for me to try to keep my sanity, but I'm also making it so that people can see it, so people can hear it. Hear it, yeah, because it's podcasting as an audio medium. Anyway, I'm making it so people can hear it. There was a small period years ago where I was doing Patreon first bonus episodes, and I think I only did like 4 or 5 of those, where I would do something that was kind of tangentially related to gaming or comics, and they would come out on Patreon, and then a month later they would come out for the regular feed, and I just thought that was just really weird promoting them, and like I felt like I was wasting the guest's time because I wasn't promoting it as well as I should have been when it was going on to Patreon, because I felt like I was begging people for money to go watch something and listen to something. I don't know, and I don't know why I keep saying watch something, probably just because I'm recording a video now. But I felt weird just saying, hey, give me money and you can go listen to this podcast episode. Part of that might have been because I know that a month later you could listen to it for free. And I don't know. That's just not how my brain works. I can't get behind that. When I make something, I want to share it. I want everybody to hear it. And when those episodes were coming out for the main feed, I was also not promoting them because, as well as I should have, because the episode was a month old for me and for the Patreon people. So, I mean, it was just weird. Also, I've looked at the 301 redirect logs that I have for the website. If you don't know what that is, it doesn't matter. It's just, here's links people have clicked on your website and they're going to a different place. The past few ones that I've looked at, though, I have noticed people were clicking on the Patreon link and then nothing ever came of it. Like, I don't expect to be able to make a living off of doing this. Like, if my hosting was covered, then I would be ecstatic. If my hosting and my recording was covered, like, that would basically make the entire show self-sufficient. That would be... I don't remember if I have my Patreon numbers public, and I don't want to throw that number out here right now, but I would be really, really happy if that happened. It's not happening right now, obviously, because I'm not doing anything, or at least not as much as I should be. So, seeing that people are clicking the Patreon link, they're interested enough to see that they want to see what's there, and then there's nothing there. So, this is a way that I can do that. And I think I have found a way that I'm going to make this work. Some of this is some things that I've tried before. Some of this is some things that I said I was going to try before, and I didn't really actually do it. But I am basically using a newsletter, which is something that I have also technically had for years and really underutilized. And that is being the notes / super loose script for this video. Now, when I start talking, I just kind of go and I don't read the scripts. And the only reason I have the full script in front of me is because I just straight up copied and pasted the newsletter into a teleprompter thing. Yay, open source software for that. And I mean that's what I'm looking at right now, and I'm just kind of scrolling through it to see the different points of things. And honestly, I might end up releasing the video later. I might not. I haven't really decided that. I mean, it would be at least a week or two where it would just be the patrons who get to see the video. And it still might be patrons get some little segment that the other people don't get. That's not going to be true for this one because I'm just trying to show everybody what's could be here and everything. But, that way, if you are a patron, then you basically get all the information. You're going to get everything there. If you get the newsletter, it is worth going and looking at the video when that gets released later, because there's going to be something else that I say in there. Some little peek behind the scenes, even deeper than I have in the newsletter, everything like that. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what that'll be. I mean, it'll probably be a couple weeks, and then if just the general public gets the video, something like that. But let's look at what's coming up. So normally this would just be like, okay, this is for August. It's going to be what's coming up in, I don't know, September, because I think that's how calendars and time work. So this might end up being kind of repeated in the next one. I need to figure it out. But because this is so late, I feel like, I'm just going to kind of combine the one episode that I have for August that's left and the rest of the episodes for September, and we will see what's there. So, Garfield's Search for Pookie with Ryan Estrada. If you have seen the How to Read Russian or How to Read Korean comics floating around the internet, that's Ryan Estrada. Not fully him. He had some people working on it with him, but he's working on those. Also, if you were reading Garfield comics, not the ones in the newspaper, but the ones in actual comic books, you could have also been reading Ryan Estrada. Or not. Just kind of depends on which ones you were reading. Lucky Luke with Dr. Queso de la Muerte. Obviously not their real name, but this is one of my friends who is trying to keep little bit of anonymity, and who is trying to keep anonymous as much as possible with stuff. But everybody that I know who is also friends with Queso is really, really excited to finally get to have their episode coming out. Ultimate Spider-Man with Derek B. Gale and Doug Fink. This was another no-brainer for Spider-Man. You have two guys who are looking at Spider-Man in Walloping Web Snappers, which is another podcast that looks at every Spider-Man cartoon. And I think it's really fun because they're not doing it cartoon by cartoon and going through it, finishing a series, then getting the next one. They're saying, all right, I'm going to look at this one. And then, yeah, let's look at this different one. But it's less chaotic than I just made it sound. But it's been really fun. And I'm on a giant catch-up game with it. But I have no doubt that it's going to stay really fun. I've had Derek on the show before. I have Doug booked for another episode to come on later. Asterix and Obelix Kick Buttocks, or as it was known over here in North America, Asterix and Obelix XXL with Chase Pangburn. I'm not sure how excited I'm supposed to say Chase's name because canonically it has an exclamation point in it. But it was really fun. And again, it's somebody else who was working on the property. Chase is there doing work for Asterix and Obelix. And not only do you get somebody who really likes the franchise, who, spoiler alert, really liked the game, but you have somebody who was working on it and has a little bit of that inside knowledge that they're able to share out over here. and Disney's PK Out of the Shadows with Esh Johansson. Johansson. He's from Denmark. I don't know. I can't remember right now because I've been up for way too long. Too many languages running through my head trying to find people for guests and how do different places pronounce the same letters. But this is one where I was searching for people, trying to find somebody who I felt like could speak to PK Out of the Shadows well enough from a game standpoint and actually knew that this was based on a comic. I found only a few people. Ash was easily the best one. I mean, no shade at anybody else who did this. It was mostly just the fact that they hadn't put out anything in years and years and years. And I thought, okay, I'll try Ash first because I feel like he would be the best one. And he was really good. So worked out really well. This is the part where I'm going to tell you that this is basically a single take. I'm cutting a few things out, like coughing and some extra silences and stuff, but for the most part, unedited, because I want to go ahead and get this out, and I kind of know what I'm doing. I'm going to toot my own horn, like Dr. Doom. Anyway, so normally here I'd have something in the community corner where you would have, some responses to things I've had on social media or answers to questions that I have at the end of the newsletter / the end of this video, which is going to be not quite the end of the video, or things like that. I'm just saving all of that for the next one because I can do that. And it's like a week or two away, and I don't want to go back and try to figure out when things happened. But yeah. As far as some things that I recommend that are not this podcast at all, Superman smashes the Klan. I just love it, and I hate how relevant it still is, and I love that it's still relevant today, and the fact that it's basically pretty child friendly, so I wouldn't give it to a first grader, but middle schooler, older elementary age person, all day long. Somebody who is 38 and just really likes reading comics and has never grown up. I'm looking at myself there. Hey, guess what? I should go read it too. I have a copy of it. I should go read it again. Super Mario Kart. And no, I did not make a mistake there. Basically, every other version of Mario Kart is somebody's favorite. I hardly ever hear anybody say Super Mario Kart, and it is the foundation of the entire series. And if Super Mario Kart had flopped, would we have Mario Kart 64? Would we have Mario Kart 8, whatever it is? Would we have Mario Kart Open World Doohickey WTF Barbecue? I don't know. And we don't have to know that because here in this reality, Super Mario Kart is really good. Reborn as a vending machine, I now wander the dungeon. It's an isekai, which is a story where the main character has to survive in another world, and some random unknown person gets killed by a vending machine that falls on them, and they get reborn in this other world as a vending machine. And the vending machine is sentient and can interact with the world, and it's exactly what it says on the tin and not what you're expecting at all at the same time. And I love it. And we were talking about it at the comic store last week. Connor says he can't believe it got a season 2. I think Connor's crazy, and maybe I won't let him on the show anymore again. But this show is really good. Reborn as a vending machine. I now wander the dungeon. Like, how do you feel for a vending machine? It's just so cool. And finally, Super Mario Moment. It is just a fun new show on the Glitterjaw Podcast Collective. It is a look at all things Mario. And as of when I wrote this, and I don't know if an episode got released today and is going to ruin this, or will be released after I record this and before I put it out and stuff and everything. Anyway, everything was a Mario game. And that's not always going to be the case, and we've been told that's not always going to be the case, and we know that's not going to be the case for long, but It's a really fun show. And also, Amish, come on this show. Let me go on your show. I have an idea for you. And some people are going to be surprised, I think, at what I pick for if I had my way for how I'd go on your show. Do you want more Play Comics in your life? Because if you do, you can help support the show. Like I said earlier, there's the Patreon stuff where, yeah, I'm going to make it worth it. I need to get those early releases. Like, damn it, if all I had was the early releases, that would at least be early releases. Come on, Chris. I've had probably one or two times lately where I had it early. I could have had it early and I just didn't. And I'm a horrible person there. So I need to get those. Ugh. And some other random things. But I do have a question for y'all. And you can respond to things here. Just send me an email, chris@playcomics.com. Any way you know of to get to me. And I'll document them so that I don't have to forget that I got anything. But which of my solo episodes that I did here on Play Comics do you think really deserves to get redone and have a proper episode made with a guest and everything and all the modern things that I do with the show? Now, yeah, like anything that I did by myself. So that's digging way back into the archives. You're talking the Atari Roundup, which maybe you think one of those Atari games deserves to have an episode all to itself. We could definitely do that. I'm pretty sure I did one of the Punisher games all by myself. Honestly, I don't remember what else there was. Basically, I think we're looking at everything before Silver Surfer, if I remember right. And we had old co-host Sean on some of those. And I'm not really worrying about those here, just which ones where it's me by myself. I'm curious. And if you don't think I should go back and do any of those, why not? So normally this is where everything would end. But like I said, I want to make sure that people know there is something here and you get a little bit of something for the Patreon. This is the kind of thing that you will get with the Patreon. These exclusive little extra behind the scenes. I don't know. I'll think of a good name for it. But recently I was recording with somebody and told them, hey, we finished. It was a good episode. You guys are really going to love it. And it's nobody that I mentioned here in this. So you will probably never know who this is unless you know who they are anyway. Or if I've managed to pull it off. But telling them, if you want to come back on the show, find something on the list, we'll make it work. And if your partner ever wants to come on the show, then have them find something on the list. We'll make it work. And this guest is sitting there telling me, yeah, I'll probably find something, take a look at the list later. Hadn't really updated it since I booked them for this one. That makes sense that they couldn't look at the list and find something again super immediately. Their partner, though, that was the fun one. They're telling me, yeah, they're not too big on anything with this. Maybe could get them to come on along with the guest I already had as like a sidekick kind of deal. But as far as them by themselves, probably not anything. And then they had a thought. Sailor Moon. I have had a couple of people throw the idea of Sailor Moon past me. It hasn't been as much as Pokemon. And I haven't gone after any specific people to come on for Sailor Moon games. And dear God, I am not opening up that channel right now. Like, yes, I think it would be really cool, but it's going to have to be a special kind of person for it. Because over here in North America, we got exactly 0 Sailor Moon games. I say 0. Now, there was a mobile game that we got because it was just a worldwide release. There was a few computer games, and that's it. Like, how crazy is that? That Sailor Moon, like, if you ask random people to name anime, at least when I was growing up, they would say either Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z. They would say Sailor Moon. And they would, I don't even know what a third one would be, like Speed Racer, probably. For the US to never get a Sailor Moon game, I think just is crazy. And I can kind of understand it in the earlier days because, oh no, video games are for boys. I mean, that's total bullshit. I want to say that right now. But that was the thought process. So, okay, what are you going to do? So, you get through the NES era, no Sailor Moon games. You get through the Super Nintendo era. Hey, guess what? You could have had some fighters. No Sailor Moon games. We got a Ranma 1/2 game. A really, really bad fighter. Japan got a really, really good Sailor Moon fighter. We could have had that instead of Ranma 1/2. Really? Could have just had a good Sailor Moon game. And we knew what Sailor Moon was over here. So it would have actually worked. Except would the boys play a Sailor Moon game? I mean, we would now. I probably would have that. Honestly, I did back then because emulators, yay, all kinds of crazy stuff. PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5, all of those. No Sailor Moon games. How has the US not gotten a Sailor Moon game? This is crazy. So I'll leave you with that. It's just, I thought I was having an aneurysm or something because I'm looking through all the Sailor Moon games. No US release, no US release, no US release. How? It just makes absolutely no sense to me. Oh.